things are going down south in marriage. So now we are not talking in the house for 1.5 years. We're just communicating. The guy is enjoying his life. Me, I'm there with my children, with my work, and that's it.
But he used to be away most of the time,
Yeah.
so that helped the situation a bit.
Yeah, because you'd work and go out and hang out and all. So we never had time to clash. So we never used to talk in the house. 1.5 years down the remember that time my son is a sickler. He's sick
Mm,
today,
mm,
tomorrow he's sick, today he's in
mm,
hospital, like that, like that.
mm,
Fine. So it became too much
mm,
that now we started. One day I came and he had removed my things from the bedroom and put
mm.
them outside. So what I
Ah,
did, yeah, outside the bedroom. So that is a sign, somebody who doesn't beat you, but
mm,
he tortures you mentally.
mm,
So because he saw I was not reacting, as him going out and whatever. So he
mm,
locked things out. So what I did, because our house had it had three, is it 3 or 4 bedrooms? It was
mm,
3 bedrooms.
mm,
So I moved from the because now the house girl was in another bedroom. So my
mm.
boys were in the other bedroom. So what I did, I took my things and I put in the kids' bedroom. So I started sleeping in the kids' bedroom with the kids. Yeah. So he'd come, do his things, go, do his things. So I think he realized this woman is not going. I think he was torturing me, so I go. So he'd come with things. Oh, I hear stories, and so now he started witch hunting. So I think he would try to get information, what I'm doing at the church, if I'm talking to when somebody wants to get you, they'll definitely look for channels. So I think there was somebody, maybe an informer, who'd go and tell him, oh, nowadays she talks to blah 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 blah. And because I was I mean, I'm still a
You're
young girl.
friendly.
I am friendly,
Mm,
and women in church,
mm,
there's jealousy everywhere. So they
mm,
look at you, they're like, hey,
mm,
this one. It's like guys are making moves. They
mm,
know you're married, but you're young, and so people are like, now this girl. So
mm.
a woman comes and tells him this, so he now bases it on that. So he says,
A woman from church.
yes, yes, I hear this. So he now bases that on making you go. You see, he wants to look for something to
Oh, he he
throw you off.
he he forgets all the.
For him, no, he has no problem. It is
He
you.
has no issues. He has
Yes.
no flaws.
Huh? So now
Uh,
you should move
mm,
out
mm,
because so apparently
mm,
he is doing so many things with women, everything. You even hear stories. He's even rented a house for so and so, and there was even a neighbor of his from, he came from Maringo, so there were women neighbors, and they were now the ones who are eating his money. You,
mm.
that money you don't see it, but other
He
people
was
furnish for
an Eastlands boy done good.
exactly, exactly, Eda Mwanga of
Mm,
all that.
mm,
So uh, one day he comes
mm,
and decides, because now
mm,
I've been sleeping in the children's bedroom, he
mm.
decides to take my clothes and throw them downstairs with a suitcase and everything. Of course,
Jesus.
that tells you go. So what I
Mm,
did when I came back from work, I just took a few clothes, and of
mm,
course I left the children,
mm,
and then I went.
mm,
I went to my parents' place, Buruburu, and
mm,
anyway, that's
mm,
the only place I know. And I'm like,
mm,
after all, my parents are still alive. Why should I?
mm,
So I packed my
mm,
things and I go to. No, I didn't go to Buruburu first.
mm,
When he threw my things, I went to
mm,
his cousin's place. His cousin,
mm,
he's now a tycoon. He lives in
mm,
Karen actually. He used to
mm,
live in South Sea. That was
mm,
it was called Mugoya Estate. So
mm,
I moved to Mugoya to the
mm.
cousins, and I tell them, oh, this is what is happening. This is what is
So,
happening.
what was the reasoning behind going to his relatives?
So that I try to
So, culturally, to
salvage.
cover yourself,
Naturally, you go to your people. Now
you go to one of his relatives so that,
they can come and talk and solve things.
as in, you have not removed yourself from their
Exactly,
homestead. So,
exactly. I'm still holding on. Uh-huh.
mm,
Relatives were very good, and they
mm,
liked me.
mm,
Actually, I was a people of the people. Even today, if I still go, in fact, even the other day, I went to Kenya and I still went to his house, and they welcomed me very well. Yeah.
mm,
So me, I had no problem with them. So I went,
mm-hmm,
and they would advise me. I would sleep there 1 day, 2 days. I go back. So he
mm-hmm,
tells me, "Oh, if he's not violent, you just go back." So I would go back.
mm,
like that. So I did once, twice. The last time I saw, now, if I continue staying here, it's going to be violent. Actually, he told me,
Traditional people.
yeah. So he told me, now I think he now realized this woman is going nowhere. Now let me now become violent. So now that's when I realized, let me just go. So what I did, I just took my clothes and I left. I went to my mom's place. And remember, all this time, these things are happening. I've not mentioned to nobody. My mom doesn't know nothing. My siblings know nothing. Nobody knows that I'm being frustrated. For all,
Why didn't you share your
see,
ordeal?
now,
Those
I,
too
I want
many kids.
too many children who will listen. Your father already is another one. He's when he
Sorry.
comes, so you'll not even tell him nothing because he's not listening to anything. He doesn't even know what it is. And your mom now, she's also helpless because your father is just another one. Now, who will he tell? So I went back, and now my mom was like, anyway, so you just come. So I came. I went back home, and then what I did, I actually, before I went home, what he did when I went to, I think, to the cousin's place. So after he threw my things, now he threw my things down. I think that was the last one. So I didn't pick everything. I just picked a few clothes and I went to Buruburu. I left my things. So you know what he did? He packed all the things he had thrown down, and then he brought them to Buruburu. And when he found, I think, was it my sister, my last born sister, or he didn't find anybody. I think he went, and I don't know whether he called my sister to come and pick my things or he threw them across the gate or something. I don't know, one of the two. Either he threw them over the gate or he called my sister and said, I brought.
This is the same person who followed you to Mukumu.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh my lord,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
things
And remember, he's
change.
my first boyfriend, and he's my husband. So what I did,
Oh.
now I stayed in Buruburu because your things have been brought. That tells you you're not wanted anymore. So now what I did, because my kids were still small, me, I decided to go for my children. So I went, I took them. And now when I took them, because they were still young, so my mom is like, Spain, now I think my marriage was now going down, down, down the drain. Remember that time, we are now in Huru Gardens phase 2 in our house. And we even have a house boy. I was living like, in fact, people were admiring me. I remember even some of my in-laws where I was married then in Wanga. I still talk to them even today, some of them. They were good people. Most of them liked me. In fact, those in-laws still like me. It's only that things didn't work. So things become bad. And I'm being so frustrated. This guy now decides we're not talking anymore. Actually, I remember we lived
Hi.
1.5 years not talking in the same house. So if I would
Wow.
want anything, I would write a note and live there.
Are you serious?
Yes, for 1.5 years we stayed
Oh my god.
like a sister and brother.
So, and how are you going to make sure your message has been read?
I didn't care. So now me, I am trying to struggle with the hairdressing. It's not doing well, but um, thank God because of my good. As much as I think I was good in everything. So when I started doing the hairdressing and all, I remember when I just finished, there was a lady. She was called Mrs. Kabumbura. She came for me in St. Barnabas Church. So somebody recommended me. The teacher, there's a teacher from college. Yeah, she was called, what was her name? I've forgotten her name. When that time that lady, she was called Mrs. Kahumbura. She had a salon in Westlands. It was called Le Vogue. Beautiful salon. So she was looking for professional girls. So she went to La Belle school. You go to school and want to ask from the teachers, who do you think? So she went, and this lady recommended, go to, if you want this lady, there's this lady by the name Linda. I hear she sings because I love singing wherever. Even when I was in college, I used to go to no, not college. Wherever I worked, I used to tell them, when this time reaches, I'm going for choir practice. And that was my,
Maybe you were meant to be a Msani because you
I
started drama in school and what have you?
imagine, since I was in school, wherever I worked, and remember, like the salon business, in the evening is when it's busy. But I would always tell the boss I have to go for practice. And funny enough, no boss refused me to go for practice. So I can say I think God had just put that in me. So she came to church. I remember one day, Sunday, we are from church. Then I'm called. Oh, you are being called by a lady there. A lady has come, classy lady with driving a Porsche car. And she's like, oh, by the way, are you Linda? I've been sent to you by. The teacher was called Mercy. She was a Tanzanian. So she comes and says, I have this job, I blah, blah, blah. And that's how I got my job again in Westlands, Livog. I never tamant, by the way. Funny enough. So I work in Livog. We get beautiful clients, the Kahumuras. Jimmy Kahumura, if you remember, he was a driver, that was the wife. It was a beautiful salon. We used to intermingle with classy people. So as I'm there, things are going down south in marriage. So now we are not talking in the house for 1.5 years. We're just communicating. The guy is enjoying his life. Me, I'm there with my children, with my work, and that's it.
But he used to be away most of the time.
Yeah.
So that helped the situation a bit.
Yeah, because you'd work and go out and hang out, and also we never had time to clash. So we never used to talk in the house. 1.5 years down the remember that time my son is a sickler. He's sick today, tomorrow he's sick, today he's in hospital, like that. Fine. So it became too much that now we started. One day I came and he had removed my things from the bedroom and put them outside. So what I did, yeah, outside the bedroom. So that is a sign, somebody who doesn't beat you, but he tortures you mentally. So because he saw I was not reacting, as him going out and whatever. So he locked things out. So what I did, because our house had it had three or four bedrooms. It was 3 bedrooms. So I moved from because now the house girl was in another bedroom. So my boys were in the other bedroom. So what I did, I took my things and I put in the kids' bedroom. So I started sleeping in the kids' bedroom with the kids. Yeah. So he'd come, do his things, go, do his things. So I think he realized this woman is not going. I think he was torturing me, so I go. So he'd come with things, I hear stories, and also now he started witch hunting. So I think he would try to get information, what I'm doing at the chat, if I'm talking to when somebody wants to get you, they'll definitely look for channels. So I think there was somebody, maybe an informer, who'd go and tell him, nowadays she talks to blah 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 blah. And because I was I'm still a
You're
young
friendly.
I am friendly, and women in church, there's jealousy everywhere. So they look at you, they're like, hey, this one. It's like guys are making moves. They know you're married, but you're young, and so people are like, now this girl. So a woman comes and tells him this, so he now bases it on that. So he says,
A woman from church.
yes, yes, I hear this. So he now bases that on making you go. You see, he wants to look for something to.
Oh, he forgets all the.
For him, no, he has no problem.
He has no issues. He has
Yes.
no flaws.
Huh? So now you should move out because so apparently he is doing so many things with women, everything. You even hear stories. He's even rented a house for so and so, and there was even a neighbor of his from, he came from Maringo, so there were women neighbors, and they were now the ones who are eating his money. That money you don't see it, but other
He
people.
was an Eastlands boy done good.
Exactly, the Mwanga of all that. So one day he comes and decides, because now I've been sleeping in the children's bedroom, he decides to take my clothes and throw them downstairs with a suitcase and everything.
Jesus.
Of course, that tells you go. So what I did when I came back from work, I just took a few clothes, and of course I left the children, and then I went to my parents' place, Buruburu. And anyway, that's the only place I know. And I'm like, after all, my parents are still alive. Why should I? So I packed my things and I I didn't go to Buruburu first. When he threw my things, I went to his cousin's place. His cousin, he's now a tycoon. He lives in Karen, actually. He used to live in South Sea. That was, it was called Mugoya Estate. So I moved to Mugoya, to the cousins, and I tell them, this is what is happening. This is what is happening.
What was the reasoning behind going to his relatives?
So that I try to.
So culturally, to cover yourself.
Culturally, you go to your people. Now
you go to one of his relatives so that
they can come and talk and solve things.
As in, you have not removed yourself from their homestead. So
exactly, I'm still holding on. Relatives were very good, and they liked me. Actually, I was a people of the people. Even today, if I still go, in fact, even the other day, I went to Kenya and I still went to his house, and they welcomed me very well. Yeah. So me, I had no problem with them. So I went,
Mm-hmm.
and they would advise me. I would sleep there 1 day, 2 days. I go back. So he tells me, "Oh, if he's not violent, you just go back." So I would go back
Mm.
like that. So I did once, twice. The last time I saw now, if I continue staying here, it's going to be violent. Actually, he told me,
Traditional people.
yeah. So he told me now. I think he now realized this woman is going nowhere. Now let me now become violent. So now that's when I realized, let me just go. So what I did, I just took my clothes and I left. I went to my mom's place. And remember, all this time, these things are happening. I've not mentioned to nobody. My mom doesn't know nothing. My siblings know nothing. Nobody knows that I'm being frustrated. For
Why,
all,
why, 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 why didn't you share your ordeal?
now,
Because too
I want
many kids.
too many children who will listen. Your father already is another one. He's when he
So,
comes, so you'll not even tell him nothing because he's not listening to anything. He doesn't even know what it is. And your mom now, she's also helpless because your father is just another one. Now, who will he tell? So I went back, and now my mom was like, anyway, so you just come. So I came. I went back home, and then what I did, I actually before I went home, what he did when I went to I think to the cousin's place. So after he threw my things, now he threw my things down. I think that was the last one. So I didn't pick everything. I just picked a few clothes and I went to Buruburu. I left my things. So you know what he did? He packed all the things he had thrown down, and then he brought them to Buruburu. And when he found, I think was it my sister, my last born sister, or he didn't find anybody. I think he went and I don't know whether he called my sister to come and pick my things or he threw them across the gate or something. I don't know, one of the two. Either he threw them over the gate or he called my sister and said, I brought.
this is the same person who followed you to Mukumu.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh my lord,
Yeah.
how things
And remember, he's
change.
my first boyfriend and he's my husband. So what I did,
Oh,
now I stayed in Buruburu because your things have been brought. That tells you you're not wanted anymore. So now what I did, because my kids were still small, me, I decided to go for my children. So I went, I took them. And now when I took them, because they were still young, so my mom is like, you know, these children. And remember at that time, as we were doing that, this is a guy who was in the hotel industry. So he had already started showing the children posh life. So we would go. So there's a time I remember we went to Samburu Lodge. We went to Severin Sea Lodge in Mombasa. And also the kids have already started knowing that, good life. They have birthdays, we do barbecues and all. So my mom told me now, of course my mom has many children. So now she can't accommodate me with my children, with all these many children. So now she tells me, in our Luya culture, boys wanakaga kwao. They stay, the Luya men never leave their children. And remember, these are boys. So there's no way you can bring up these children on your own, and you have no resources to maintain the life they were used to. So what happens? My husband decides they're coming
coming back for his
for
children.
children. So they come, him, the cousin, and another cousin who's late, who was a very good guy. Yeah, he's all rest in peace. So they come. Now they come. Sasa wazee wanakuja. It's like wamekuja kunishtaki why they brought me. Okay, now he's taken
Hasemi makosa zake.
uh, he has taken his cousins, yeah, who are his big brothers, but he has not told them the truth. He's just pretending so that
He's omitted his flaws. He's only.
he wants to say that she has found out that I have a boyfriend, and that's why she's kicking me out of the house. So they come and we prepare. He comes and actually with the cousins and one of my mwarhuas who is an in-law, and we still talk today. Yeah, she's still my friend. So they come from Wanga. Now the Wangas have come to say why I'm back home. So he's the one there talking. So me, I had gone to church. You remember now? Remember, I'm still operating from Buruburu to St. Barnabas. I'm singing. I'm coming back. Yeah. So they come. Then he says his part of story. No,
Kikao.
I'm quiet. No, that time I'm quiet. He says, "Oh, I found out."
No, I'm
Oh,
saying they came for Kikao.
exactly the kikao. Yeah.
Uh,
And that time, my father has gone out to give himself first. My dad doesn't talk when he has not taken a bottle. So he goes out. We prepared everything. We've cooked and everything. So he starts, oh, about this. So they let him talk first. And then it's my turn to talk. So I think he knew this is a naive girl, she can't talk
Shoot.
nothing. She, the way we never used to talk, so he didn't know who I was. So then I
So is
started.
it safe to say you didn't really know each other before you started life?
Exactly. We didn't really know each other. It's this thing people are doing nowadays. You meet somebody, you meet, and you think it's a husband. So I think from the word go, he was not meant to be my husband, but I just decided
Do you
because
know what? That's why I always say, for guys especially, I think they should wait until like 35 to think about marriage. Though there are some exceptionals,
yeah, yeah,
but
they're exceptionals. Yeah,
I
there are
think
people.
guys should wait until they're 35.
Yeah, because when they're too full, they don't see far. They
Yeah.
think with their downstairs instead of upstairs. So, when I started talking, is when everybody got shocked, even his cousin.
So you spilt the beans.
I spilled the beans. Even my own parents were shocked. And my mother, I remember she said, there's a comment she just said, if this is what my daughter has gone through at her age,
Then you should.
and me, even at my age, I don't think I would have taken what she has taken. Then, my dad, I was surprised. He said, he just woke up. He didn't talk much. He just woke up and said, he actually addressed him. He addressed him and told him, you took my daughter when she was too young. This girl of mine was a university material. You have messed her life, and now you're coming here to tell me rubbish. And you know what he did?
He said that.
Yes, my dad said that. My my dad opened the door and walked out, and that's how he went. And he told me, my daughter, the door is open. I've not closed the door for you, and that's how he went out.
Good.
So you can imagine. So that
So
was
he thought he was coming to chachisha people. He
exactly,
ended up with egg on his face.
exactly.
Uh,
And his cousin now, the elder one, who rented, he said, this were his words. He listened, never talked much. I spilled all the beans, so many even things that the cousins were shocked.
My goodness.
So he said, Linda is our in-law. Linda was a person of the people. We loved her, and we still love her. One thing we're going to miss is Linda was a people's person. We're going to miss her, and what she has gone through, I don't know. At her age, we're going to miss her. That's all he said. And they went, and that was it. And the only thing they said, the children are, they're boys, and now because of the children, in our culture, the children are always wababa,
They belong to
wababa,
the man.
as much as they're young, So you see, that's the problem is they never give women chance of, because we didn't go to the courts. Maybe if it was courts now, they would have said the children are underage, they should stay with their mother.
Yeah.
Now, they agreed, and the children were to stay in Langata, so that I would go and see them anytime I want. If anything, when they close, they would come back. They would come to Buruburu, because now that's where I was staying. So, as they went back, I find it funny enough, I just was comfortable. And I would go visit my children. And the funny thing is, when I went the first time to visit my children, there was a woman in the house who was already 6 months pregnant. So I said, oh, so
Oh,
that
so he was creating space.
was creating space for a woman who he thought now was better than me to come and take over. Yeah, she was already 6 months pregnant. So I never followed her or anything. I would actually go see my children. I would talk to them nicely, even the lady. And I'm telling you, she can ascertain to that today. I used to meet her in the house, and I would just greet her, see my children, give them what I
Would
have.
she cook for you?
No, 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 no. I didn't. I just used to go take my children what I would take, and I go. But she would see me, and then she would go upstairs. Of course, she's guilty. She's the one who took over. This house was not hers, so she came into the house. So I would go to see my children, and then I leave. So after some time, I would go for some time. Then after some time, I think she got some teaching from one of the in-laws, one of my mwarhuas, we call them mwarhua, who was a close ally to my husband. Yeah, who really knew his girlfriends, and funny enough, she was one of the wives of one of the cousins. So I think she advised him. Well, I heard that. You know, the walls have ears. Don't let that woman be coming here. You know, if she comes to see the children here, she might come back to her house. You see? So she
It's her
advised,
house.
yeah. Oh,
And you say this second woman, she's always going to feel insecure because she came to your house.
yeah. So I remember even once in a while, I think I met her in town once, and I would just say hi and I go. I never clashed with her. That is one thing I thank God for, and I give myself credit. You know, the way you go to a house and say, "This is my house." Never. I never did that because I was already fed up. I was like, I give him to you, take him. Yeah. So he decided now, the father, you know, he had allowed me to go because that's what we had agreed back in Buru. So he decided, oh, now, you know, I think what we'll be doing, if you want to see the kids, they should be coming to Buru or you go to somewhere else. Yeah. So I said, fine. I know it's not a big deal. And that is how it was. And so things continued. The kids, whatever, grew up and like that. And so as I moved out, then I think about 2 years. Then now being in St. Barnabas, and now I'm out of my house. I'm back to my mother's house. I'm still young. Then I'm singing in the choir, and there's this man who's seen like a Chile. As much as she's got babies and she's married, she still looks young, like a girl. So he takes
You
advantage.
are still a baddie,
Exactly.
as Gen Zs call them.
Yeah, because at my age, if I have grown-ups and I'm like this, I believe you can imagine my world.
Wacha kujichocha.
Si kujichocha, ni hivyo. So anyway, so I now start getting, let's meet, let me take you out. But I really played hard for quite some time. I was like, you're not my type. You know, now I'm from a guy who has money, because I remember even some guys who were singing with, they would comment and say, this one, she's the way the husband was a rich guy, you know, now they knew him. He was, hey, this, you think he can, this one can, they'll not cop. You know, they would comment. Actually, they would comment, this one is not her class. This one is not. So they had put me in another class because of the guy. So, and even
Royalty.
then I was like, this guy. And he really persisted. He continued. He really got. And he would call and I bang. He would call, I hang up. I never used to think I would, you know the way you say, you are not my type. You're not my type. And then somehow I think, out of desperation, I just found myself giving.
Persistence wears resistance.
Exactly. So I just found myself, and there I was. I got my daughter. So now getting my daughter, and this guy now, you see, I don't even know the background. You see? So once I've gotten that, now is when things start coming up. So many complications. Oh, this, that. Oh, this, that. Now there are people now don't want you because they think you have come to spoil, I don't know what, because you don't know the background. So you are innocently coming in, and yet there's a very whatever that you don't know. So that's how things went, and I got this one. And now for him, because he has seen this Chile, he's insisting, hey, this one I'm not leaving. Yeah. So his people are like, no, that one we don't want, because a Nairobi girl, here, she was married, she's enjoying you, she's going to use your money, and yet he doesn't even have money. This is a guy who even took me to a lower class from where my class was. So me, because I'm desperate, I just accept because he's a man. Yeah, but he was not my class. I'm sorry to say. To date, it is just because he got me, I think, vulnerable, and within 2 years, I already gotten into another marriage. Yeah, and that's how now I got my second husband, who now happens to come from the lakeside. What do I say?
Yeah, but they have the same. They have a lot of similarities with
a lot of complications.
The Wangas.
Exactly. So now, you see, now my children are here. I've gotten into this one. Now I've gotten a daughter. There's also those complications. There are those who don't like you. Mara, he had a former girlfriend who has a child. There is a lot of complications. So you come to learn when you're already in it. You see, now because you had the first marriage, you don't want to fail in this one. So you try to
You gave
become.
it your all, eh?
Eh? So you are good. You try to be good to his people, and you find these are not my type as much as So anyway, you go there, and remember now my son on this side, because they remain with the father, and remember he's a sickler. So every time you're being called, oh, Mara is in hospital, or this, that. So you see, you are here, you're there. But somehow I managed. So, and, unfortunately, one day, I go see him in hospital, and that's it. And I've just given birth to now my second daughter. That is in 2000 February. Then I think in April. Huh? No, I gave birth in December. Then in April, no, not April, in February. February, my son passes on.
Oh, may he rest in peace.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
remember now I've given birth. It's 2 months. Then my son, on the other side, because they would come and visit me, and we were still very good. They would come, yeah. So they were I was in their lives, and they were in my life. So my elder son calls me, oh, so and so has rested, because I had gone to see him like today, and then after 2 or 3 days, then he passed. So now I've given birth 2 months. My son has passed. Remember now I'm living in Langata, Otiende, just near the church, St. Barnabas. Then my son has passed on, and they're living in Uhuru Gardens, Langata. Yeah, so we're in the same vicinity. So I'm just from the bathroom. My son is at the door, and he sees me, and instead of saying anything, he just calls my son's name, and he starts sobbing, and I know that is it. So now I'm confused. From the bathroom, I wanted to go to church.
You're still recovering from birth. Oh,
Of course, 2 months.
oh God.
Then I'm like, now what do I do? And then thank God, my now former sister-in-law, who is my marua, we were married in the same boma. Who I'm telling you, the wife of this rich guy, they live in Karen. So she's the one who rushed there first, and because so she tried to do things. Now this funny. Let me tell you, as my son is passing on, remember that woman who came to the house when I was living had already left. Though she had already given birth to 2 children, but had already left.
I thought she was replacing you as a better option.
Yeah, don't worry.
She had already left.
Yes, she had already left, but the kids were there, and they were staying there with my sons, and one of the aunties, now the father's sister. So I hear they went to be the Lord the other day. Yeah, our soul also rest in peace. So now the wife has left, the kids are there, my kids are there. So they're all together. So the kids know each other. They're all in the house. The Luyas with their children. So my son has passed on, and my son has come. I'm confused. My baby is only 2 months. And okay, I thank God now, because the father of my daughters, as much as he was not, I can say, whatever, he had a good heart. He was actually out. He used to work with the telecom, so he had gone out of Nairobi. So I call him, and he comes back, and he gives me that freedom to go and
to attend the funeral.
Everything.
Okay.
I used to be there, and nobody would think that we even parted ways with now my former husband, because it was easy. I would go, stay there until late, then I come back, do breastfeed the child, do everything, and I go back, and all. So it was easy for me. And he even stayed with the children. I remember even going to bury my son. He stayed with the children. He even came for the service, the choir. I remember now I'm in St. Barnabas choir. They even sang.
Oh,
Yeah, and even this now father of my boys accepted to put the choir in the program and everything. So it really worked. And I'm telling you, God knows how to fix things. So it was harmony. In fact, even some of my aunties were like, "You mean Rita must have gotten a very good husband
yes.
now, this one, to accept this?" And remember, he even came to the house where the funeral was with now my daughter, to come. They went to church. He carried
You see,
people.
the thing is,
Yeah,
when kids are involved, you now become relatives, whether you like it or not.
exactly. They were now all relatives. He carried people. Now, my former, my current, that time, carried people to my former,
Mm,
even some of my aunties, and it was interesting. But something,
mm,
God just worked his ways out,
mm,
and everything went smooth. And I went and buried my son in Mumias, where some people were like, "Oh, you should not go there. If you're married
mm.
here, you do that." I say that is all rubbish.
Did
I went.
you did you speak at the funeral?
Of course, I did.
Oh, mm,
Yeah, they gave me the chance. I
mm,
spoke, and everything was so good, and they really welcomed me nicely. And in fact, some of them, the uncles, were hoping that now I'm going to go back. They were like, they were even telling these people, the Wangas, "You Wangas, what's wrong with you? Your wife has come, and you are just letting her go like that. You must be crazy." And people didn't see what he was talking about. Yeah. So anyway, we buried my son, and I came, and life continued. Yeah. So we continued, and I thank God I got my two daughters now from the lakeside.
mm.
And now this man, hey, I think me, I was not supposed to be married. I don't know. So I wanted,
No, you don't.
yeah. So now, my first chapter of the marriage is closed. I'm now in the second chapter. I usually tell people I have phase one and phase two. Yeah. So now I'm married to this church man
Mm,
who works with the post office, and he's a very good singer. And then one day we are supposed to go to Britain with the choir. That is St. Barnabas. Of course, we are both in the choir. He's a bass, I'm a soprano. And I'm just there, naive, singing for the Lord and very committed. I love my church, and I love it today because of that choir. And so we're supposed to go to Britain. Then it happens that because of funds, you have to raise some funds. So I couldn't go. Them, they were being at least sponsored by the telecom, and also they would get some subsidy. And also, of course, I couldn't raise the money, so I didn't happen to go to. I didn't go to the UK. He also didn't go. I don't know why. And then, but later, now they managed to go because they still have their visas. Some people, people take advantage. So he went to the UK. Went to the UK for that time. My daughter is about, is it 1 year or two? So about 2 years, 2 or 3, just before she goes to kindergarten. Remember, now I'm alone with the children. So he's there. Of course, he'll send you some money. You have to maneuver how to bring up the children. Now, again, I'm a single mother because now the father is not there. So remember, now my son has remained alone because the brother has passed on, but he has
half
this other
siblings.
step sister and brother who are very innocent. Of
Step
course,
half siblings.
yeah. See,
You
that's my
said
step.
step.
It's a step brother. It's not a
No,
real
no, no. You only half.
half brother. Okay, half.
Yeah,
Well,
because they share a father.
okay, because they share a father. So now, I'm now in another family, but we are still in good cooperation. I know what is happening, how the father is doing. The father is doing well. So he's busy taking care of his children. These other children he has gotten with the woman who has left, taking them to good schools and making sure they're happy. And somehow now he starts neglecting my son because, after all, the mother is not there, and I think he didn't like the mother. So as when he reaches Form 4, he decides now you're a grown up, you can go to hell, survive yourself. So he doesn't really bother much about his son. He now takes care of these other two. They are now the best because, yeah. Anyway, so that is that. So here I've
Oh
remained with my
Lord.
children, my two children. The father is away, and remember, uh, when he goes away, does he bring me a daughter? One day I come from church, I find there's a girl. Okay, I knew he had a child with some woman. So I find there's a girl who has been brought, and now she's supposed to be my daughter. No discussion, no
By
nothing.
force, by fire.
Forced by fire, you have to stay with her. No consultation, no nothing. So a child is brought.
Oh
I
Lord.
started staying with the child. And me, with my good heart and with my whatever, I tried as much as possible to bond in the children. After all, he's my
Yeah, you
husband's daughter.
see, the thing is, once the child is involved,
Exactly. So
and
I
you
know
have kids with the
anyway,
same father.
yeah, because the mother had passed on. I knew the mother. but the mother had passed on. They were never married. They were girlfriend, boyfriend, but now the mother, I think, had gotten married somewhere. Then she died, and so this girl has been brought. So we start staying as a family. So as we are staying, we are staying, and of course, you know, when a child is not yours, the other people are looking and to see how is she treating, you know, a stepmother. They will always say a stepmother is bad, but me, I tried my best. So what I did, I made sure I tried to bring up this child, took her to church where my children were going because I brought them from church, made sure she was baptized. The father was not even there. Now this time the father is in the US. He came in the US 2007. Yeah, remember 2007. So I'm still, actually, the children are still very young. My first girl now in standard, was in standard 4 or 5 or 3. She was still young.
Lower primary.
Yeah, lower primary. Then the small girl had just gone to kindergarten. In fact, she was, and the good thing, what I made sure is my children went to a good nursery school. That was Langata Junior Kindergarten, because I knew the foundation was good. You remember, I am a sharp person, so I know education is very important, and I want my children the best. So, but because this guy cannot afford, we have to struggle. He was, you know, this guy was, he doesn't want to spend his money. He feels, you know, these mean people. You want good for your family, but him, it's like, no, 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 it's too much. So me, I'm like, I want this for my children. Him is like, that is too expensive. That is, even the house he doesn't want. I don't know. Anyway, so that was, I'm saying, he was not meant for me. I was not in a class that was mine, but I was forced to be there. Why I was forced, I saw that if I don't humble myself, my children are going to suffer. So I just had to humble myself. So I
So you
humbled.
adjusted your
I
lifestyle.
adjusted. Actually, even my friends used to tell me, "Hey, Linda." In fact, I have friends who used to say, that one is not your class. That one, we don't recommend." Even today, they say, that was not meant for you. But anyway, God made it that way. I thank God because He gave me children who have made me proud, which is okay. So now, the I take this girl, I make sure she's been confirmed the way my children, you know, bringing up straight the church, the way I was brought up. She's baptized, she's confirmed, everything is good. I make sure she goes to school, follow her. And remember, I've not told you, I have these leadership skills. I mean, I have leadership, I think, in me. So when my kids were going to school, they went to school at Uhuru Gardens Primary. It was a public school. Though my kids now from Langata Junior, they thought that since their father is abroad, they're going to go to Langata Junior Primary and all. You know, the kids, they want good life. But now they're not understanding, why isn't our father taking us to good schools and yet he's in the US? Why isn't our father doing that? But I didn't want to tell them that, oh, your father has revealed. I just tried to tell them that, you know what, as long as you're bright, your foundation is good. When you go to that school, shine. And that's what they did. They went to Home Gardens. And what I did, I made sure I was in the board. Actually, I was a treasurer in that school for, I think, about 2 years. I was the first chair lady in the board of management before my children finished. The first girl finished when I was a treasurer. The second one finished when I was the chair of that school. And I left a mark because I was the first. And I even planted trees in that school. And the headmistresses of that school can ascertain to that because I
I'm
even
sure Ruto will be proud of you. He wants people to plant trees.
yeah, I even speak to them today. In fact, one of them were with her here, and they're very proud of me. Both the headmistresses who were there when my children were there, they can ascertain to that. I was a good leader. Yeah. So you can see how some potential can be, so, you know, not gotten out because of the family background.
Circumstances and
It can make you not reach your real potential. But I thank God that what I didn't manage to do, my children have done it for me. Yeah, and I'm very proud of that. So now, the girl grows, the father is away. So anytime he would call, he wants to call and talk to her, then the girl will feel like she's sulking, and then he'll be like, "Why is so and so not happy?" You know, wanting to show that it's like you're not treating the daughter well. So I'm like, what is all this? I'm trying to shape this so that I treat them the same, and all. So as much as you'd want to do what, let me tell you, as long as the child
challenges of blended families.
exactly, when a child is not yours, even if you try to do what, somehow they don't appreciate. They'll pretend, but there's something behind. Even the aunties never used to bother, but now after the girl is grown, all of a sudden, now she's good. So they take her away. I've struggled with the girl from standard 4. She goes until she finishes. I'm the one visiting Western, traveling
So
all
they took her after
After she
The
completed her
school
form.
fees,
Exactly.
because there's no
And
school fees.
they'll collaborate with the father. The father is here, the sisters, and the child. Oh, now I have become a very harsh. I'm too harsh. After she has finished, I'm too harsh. Oh, what? So they take her. And I say, oh. So I call the father. I'm like, oh, remember, he's still in the US. For over 12 years, he had never come back to Kenya. Yeah, I'm the one bringing up this girl, but now I'm bad. So the aunties are the ones who are good, who never were there, even when she was in primary, she was in secondary, they were never there for her. They only
So
came
they
after,
took her when the heavy lifting
yes, after. In fact,
is
I even told,
over.
thank you very much for making me your daughters. I was your daughter's house girl. Yeah, because I was in a botch. That's what they gave me. Anyway, so after I finished, now the girl all of a sudden goes. She's so busy even to call. You know, now these siblings, now my daughters, they knew her as a sister because they've grown up with her. All of a sudden, she's not there. Then they're like, eh? You know, now they're getting confused. You know, the father, they don't even know the whole story because there are many, many small things there which I can't, of course, say now. There are too many. So now they decide, oh, so she has gone. So now we are bad. So they also keep off. Now the girl also doesn't call me, doesn't call the sisters and all. So what do? The link goes. As much as I brought them up, the father is the cause because if these are your children, why don't you put them together? Why are you separating? And yet you brought that child so that they can be together. Yeah. Then after that, you find that there's even another one, another daughter who has grown out there, and now he wants the children to come together. So the children are like, now these children have grown. I mean, how do we come together? Why have you to wait until this girl has finished her Form 4 is when you want us to meet, and we can't. It can't work. And they actually told him, Father, we are all your children, but deal with everybody in their own space. Yeah. Because now you messed yourself up with your children.
Yeah, you know, you can't really force that
Exactly.
sibling bond
At least
after a certain age.
at least the other Wanga brought the children together. So they still mingle even today.
Yeah,
They know they
yeah.
are from one father. But now this one separated. And the funny thing, she connected the other girl I was bringing up with this other one. They are very close. Now my two were the ones who were put away. You see, even with the family. Even with the family. In fact, even the mother, the grandmother, my children don't know their grandmother. The big one only knew the grandmother when she was dead. Actually, she didn't know. She went to bury the grandmother who she never knew in her life because this other one was in school. So that is the kind of a person I married. Now,
Oh Lord.
so now to cut the story short, after the phase of that is now my marriage. So the guy is in the US for 12 years, sends what he sends, and sending money. And anyway, I can't say. I only congratulate him because at least he paid school fees for the children, and we never lacked. At least I was a hustler anyway, and anybody who would see me, they would look at me and say, "Hey, you're getting more dollars from the US. You're looking good. Oh, your husband is shit." I wish they knew. Oh, I wish they knew. Yeah. So anyway, so he would just send the pocket and everything. You have to put a list. How much is this? How much is that? How much? Hey, thank God, though, I can have my own money. Oh, hey. I'm telling girls, before you get married, have your money.
You should have your own source of income,
Have your money so that
however little.
will not belittle you and think like you're rubbish. And I think that's what this guy thought of me. So what happened is this: he's in the US. Now my final. I think I'm coming to my final because we can talk until tomorrow. So
Yeah.
after he comes to the US, they present him well, very well.
Oh.
Yeah. I went and I represented him very innocently with my good heart. Kumbe, things are working background. The sisters know what is happening back in the US. They even collaborate to plan how they're going
What
to.
was happening in the US?
Of course, in the US, he had married somebody else, and the sisters would talk. They knew everything. So I think they used to look at me and say, "This foolish one thinks
This
she's
fool.
fool who has never even, after all, he never even paid dowry for me." So I think he was just a boyfriend. I'm sorry to say. Yeah. So because he can't even claim me now, after all, I can't. In fact, I shouldn't even say he
No,
divorced me.
don't say that because of the kids.
No, the truth is the truth. Even the kids know. So they're no longer kids; they're grown-ups now. So he collaborates with the sisters. They do what they can do. They get even the pictures through a phone he sent me without knowing that they were on the cloud. I saw everything. That was before I came. Yeah. So he sends me a phone. You know how God works. So I open this phone and I see pictures. Hey, the wedding. I'm like, wow, okay.
Wedding.
So
The wedding pictures.
yes,
Oh
yes.
my god.
Never. Anyway, that is a story for another day. So now, as he does that, so already officially he's married to this woman. So now it comes one day. I think he just wanted. There's a friend. This guy was. They used to work together, and may God bless him because he is the one. He is the reason. By the name, I can call. He's called Stephen. He's here in the U.S. He's called Stephen.
Don't say the second name. No, leave
Yeah,
the second name
I'm,
out.
I'm, I'm not ashamed to say because he is the
No,
guy.
don't say the second name because maybe he doesn't want to be
Oh, okay.
mentioned.
So this guy, they used to work together. Okay, I'll not say the name. So they used to work together. So one day he tells him because he knows he has a family back home. Because they share. People come here with different. So he tells him, "Oh, why don't you? There's this guy. I know he applies for people, green cards. Why don't you tell your wife and children they send their whatever's so that he can try and apply? It's a matter of it's a 50-50 thing. You might get it, you might not get it because if that. So I think what he did was just like Ashingo Pande, maybe not to show this guy that he's not interested. So this guy has brought his family here. So he says, fine, okay. He calls us, he tells us to send the pictures and whatever details. So we send. So me, I send with my daughter now, my last born daughter who was below 18. So we send, and then my other big daughter, and then plus was it just the three of us? Yeah, because now this time the other daughter has already left. Yeah, so she's no longer now in the picture because now it's me and these other two. So we send our photos. So this guy applies for us the green card. So when he applies the green card, and we wait. See, it's usually in October. So me, I'm just like, I never used to bother. People used to tell me, apply, apply. It was never in my, I was just like, I'm okay. So my daughter, the elder one, is the one who used to really want, she has some, quite a bit of blue in her. She likes good things. So whatever, she says, let us apply and all. So we send our pictures, they apply. So May reaches, then I'm going to work. I'm on my way in a matatu going to work. That time I was working at Steamer Plaza. So I go. As I'm on the way, she calls me. Now my daughter has cleared her university, her bachelor's degree. So she's at home now, trying to do things and applying and everything. So she calls me. She says, "Mom, guess what?" And I'm like, "What?" Imagine you won the green card. And I'm like,
Oh
"What?"
my god! And you
Yeah,
thought she was joking?
and remember, it's the first, just been applied for. I didn't even bother. So her, because she applied as independent, she didn't get. So me, I have got the green card. And me getting means my younger daughter has already gotten because she's my dependent.
You're
She's
minor,
my,
yeah.
yeah. So she comes under me because when you have any children below 18, they're under you. So when you get it, they also qualify to accompany you. So I get it. So now the story begins. So we call the father. No, we didn't call the father first. I think the guy who had applied from here, he used to apply for many people. So you'd apply, if you're lucky, you get. So apparently that time he applied for, I think, almost 200 people, but only 5 people got the green card, which I was one among the lucky 5. So this guy is so excited. Yeah. Then calls my sister, my daughter, because now we had the link. So my daughter checks, she says, "Oh, mom, you got." So this guy calls their father. Their father is here. He calls it, they were near. He
That
tells,
was bad
yeah.
news to him.
So he tells me, by the way, your wife has won the lottery. And he's
Oh my god.
like, he's not believing it. So now it started that way. So he's like, he's not excited. He's like, I didn't think you should get. I think that's what she was. He was just doing it for the sake because many people are even 10 times. So he knew, the first time I don't think she can get. And who is God? Oh, there's a God in heaven. So that's how I got my green card. So this guy now, we start. I'm calling him. Oh, so now what next?
Because you need money to start
Exactly,
processing.
exactly, and it's expensive. So he starts dodging. Now he starts. Oh, it's expensive. Oh, blah, blah. He dodges. So now this guy who has applied, he's also excited because he wants to help the people who have gotten because he knows how it is. I mean,
Yeah.
so he's like, this guy, what's wrong with you? You should do 1, 2, 3, get 1, 2, 3, whoever is going to accommodate us so that you start now the next process. Because once you get, you start processing. So we wait 1 week, 2 weeks, nothing. So me, I'm like, I've already given up. I'm like, to hell, Kwani, what is America after all? I'm still surviving. So my daughter, the big one, in fact, I thank God for her because she's always very persistent. She told me, Ma, if God made you get this green card, this time
He
next
wants
year,
you there.
you're going to be in the US. Then I'm like, in my heart, how will I be there? After all, I don't have money. This guy, it's like he doesn't want. So this guy calls me. Huh? He tells me, my friend, the way I'm seeing this husband of yours, he doesn't want you to come here. So if you have a
That
way,
guy was a guardian angel.
God sends people. That's what I'm telling you. God sends people. God sends destiny connectors. It doesn't matter who it is. It can be even a stone, and it will connect you to your destination. And I tell you, that man was God sent, and may God bless him his entire life. Wherever he is, whatever he does, let God remember him, whatever he does, because he is the main reason through God that I'm here. And everybody would ask, because I always mentioned his name. I said, this guy made me, this guy did this. And from there, when he told me, this guy doesn't want you to come, but when I start something, I like finishing it. And because you've gotten this, and
But
very
he's, I think he's a very unique guy because, I've heard there are so many guys who don't want their wives to come to join them
exactly
in the
because of what,
Western world.
because
So
what
for
they,
him to tell you that I have a feeling this man doesn't want you to come, I think he's a very unique guy
oh,
because
let me tell you, it's not a matter of unique. There's God who uses people. We are spirits. We are spirits. And God connects. And if God, and that's why they usually say, if God opens a door, whether who wants to close it, you will not. He will use
yeah,
anything to make you rich.
yeah. If God says yes,
Nobody can say,
nobody can say no.
I'm a testimony to it. I didn't know how I was going to come to America, but I came. I landed. This guy arranged everything for my accommodation. Even when whoever was to accommodate me changed their mind, he still got an option for me. And wherever I was accommodated, I was not charged a penny. I landed comfortably. He made me maneuver everything what is needed, and I maneuvered. He made me know whatever, get my first car, and now I have my second car. He made me get where to stay. God used that man.
Yep.
So I landed. I arranged everything. My daughter, remember, she's to come with me, yeah? But that time she was doing her exam. So what we did, this guy advised me, told me, when you go to the embassy, do this, tell them your daughter is going to join you. And everything they asked me, I said just the way he instructed me. And that's how when my daughter finished, I made sure she arranged everything I had left her with until the visa. So I
Yeah.
came. He even told me, come first, land, get 2 or 3 months, settle, let your daughter come.
Then she
Because
joins you.
yes, because here people to accommodate people is usually a problem. People are even
Yeah.
left at the airport. Somebody
Yeah.
goes to get you and they leave you stranded. People have gotten homeless here because of hey, America is not a joke. But I
Yeah.
thank God because God has never left me. And I have never broken down. I have been resilient. And my daughter came and God was so faithful. She has gone through college. She has graduated
I
with a
tell
first
you.
class honors in finance. And even after that, after inviting even the father to come for the graduation, he had excuses. And I think it's because he was
I swear,
guilty.
he's
He never
ashamed.
came. But still,
Do you know what he's doing? He's worsening his reputation because he's supposed to be trying to endear himself,
yeah,
but
no, after that,
he's creating another reason to
no,
have
after
a rift with.
exactly for after that he tried he decided to go to lunch with the daughter, which I told her, you go with your father. I never stopped her because after all he's their father. But what I said is, your children are free. They're your children, they're your blood. Me, I'm not your blood. I have forgiven you. Live your life, but me, forget about me. I don't need you now. When I needed you most, you're not there. So to hell, I don't need you. What? Let my God take care of me. I don't need a husband. And if I get one, why not? After all, I'm still strong. Hey. So if I
So,
get a partner, and of course, if I can't miss, I'm still attractive as much as how old I am. I've got
it's good to be confident.
exactly. I'm still hey. In fact, I'm even fitter than some of my younger people. So yeah, I'm still able to work. I'm still able to get my own money, and I thank God because when I came to America, my children now are all grown up. They're independent.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
you're
it's
so lucky.
life, the life that I never enjoyed. You remember, I always play this song, Gloria Muliro's, atarudisha yaliyoliwa na nzige,
Yeah.
whatever time it is, he will bring back. And
Yeah,
actually,
so you say it worked out well in the end because
and now
now you don't have young kids. Because
I
some people now would still
am
be thinking about
proud,
paying.
let me tell you, I'm now a proud American citizen and a Kenyan citizen. I have my papers. I
Are
can
you
go.
keeping your Kenyan citizenship?
Exactly. I've already whatever it. I've already, and you know me, I do my things with plan. I've done everything clean.
So you care
And
about
global.
what is happening in Kenya?
Of course, we'll care because of what is happening. It's very sad. Hey, I don't even know. I look at it and I'm like, oh my God. Kenya, a
Okay.
beautiful country, but
Yeah.
people are messing it up because of selfishness. And that is
Yeah.
one selfish, wanting to grab everything. And these things, we leave them here. You see, like when I'm here, sometimes even I go to work and I see my fellow Kenyans here. People are struggling, not sleeping. They want to acquire all the wealth. Me, I say, as long as I can eat and I have a shelter and I'm at peace. What little and I have
No,
a
the
little
thing is, there's nothing wrong with wanting
no,
wealth,
what I say
but don't do it at the expense of your health.
exactly. This
So I
American
think what people need is financial education, so they learn
exactly
about
yeah,
financial instruments that don't require you to work physically.
exactly. And our
So
Kenyans are working too much. I'm telling you, I've seen people who are really working, not sleeping. They're collapsing because of fatigue. Somebody
yeah, that's
doesn't
because they have a lot to take care of.
yeah, but and one thing, this is the problem also. Our Kenyan people, once you come to the diaspora, our Kenyan folks back home, please
Yeah,
give people a breathing space. People just
yeah,
want to sit and wait. Oh, my sister, I need this. My sister, my brother,
yeah. See,
I,
everyone in America is
my
rich.
friend, school fees. Oh, this. People are working. Do we collect money from
Yeah,
the
you're in the richest country of the world, so
the
so
richest?
everyone is rich in America.
No, 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 no. You can in America. People are homeless in America. Eh? There are people even who came here earlier than us who are homeless, who have nothing. So it depends on how you plan your life, your financial. Actually, as you're saying, be comfortable. And one thing, there's one thing I have come to learn: people are not contented with what they have. And human being is they want, they want, they want. But at the end of the day, these things you're going to get them here. All these things are vanity. Just be
Yeah,
comfortable, be at peace, save
yeah.
one, three, get, of course, you can invest here and there, but don't be too greedy. Actually, it's greed. It's not even anything. The greed is what is killing people.
No, but some people, it's like maybe you're paying school fees for your brother's kids, your sister's kids. You're taking care of
And
people's
that,
hospital bills.
no, that is one thing the Kenyans need to learn. And I remember when during the President Moi era, he used to say, and you know, it used to be like a joke. Whenever he was on TV, he would say, wazazi, zaeni watoto wale ambao mnaweza
Mnaweza
kulea.
kukulea.
But people never used to
It was
think,
a song. It was a
it,
song, actually.
yeah, give birth to children according to what you can be able to take care of. If you can take care of two, give birth to two. If you can take care of five, take care. Don't give birth and expect other people to take care of your children. And that is what is killing Africans, especially.
Yeah.
Especially people from Western, my dear.
Eh,
Oh, we have a problem.
the black
And
tax.
then people feel entitled to your money. Yeah. And then we have this thing has come. The churches, I'm sorry to say, I love my church. I love God because I know there's a superhuman. Nobody knows where he is. We know we say he's not seen. He's actually God. What I know, there's a superhuman. He's not human, but there's a supernatural power that controls us. But now, what the church has come to do, not everybody, what the church has come to do, people have come to take advantage of the church by pretending, oh, God says this, God says that. If you don't do this, so they're taking advantage of people. Right now, one church. It's a good church, but let people read the Bible, search your souls, do what the Lord tells you to do. Don't
Yeah.
do things to please people. But what I have seen in churches now, even in my own church, the the pastors, the bishops, the what,
They'll
they
banish you.
they huh? No,
They'll banish you from that church.
I don't care. I don't care. The truth is the truth. They come to church, you come to church, they'll value you according to what is on your plate. It's no
Oh.
longer what the Spirit says. If, there's even class in church. There's class. Even in my own church. That one I'm not ashamed to say. And that's the truth. Even when I was there. If they see that ukona kakitu, hey, you're the pastor's buddies, the families, hey, you're treated like gods. And even the people themselves feel like gods. So the people who are down there who really need nourishment, they are like cut off. Because you can't afford. When there's a harambe, it's so and so, this family has blessed us with this. And that's what has killed even our country. A politicians comes to the church, they give them the platform. They don't care how they get that money. Whether they've stolen from people, they don't care. As long as they give to the church and you
Yeah,
now
that
praise
is.
them.
I don't
You,
know whether you know this activist Morara.
of course, who doesn't
Yeah,
know?
he's trying to educate people about
Yeah,
harambes and what have you.
yeah. No, let him try. But the truth is, this Harambe was something good. But people have come, it's a showbiz.
Uh,
And that showbiz is what has made even the parliamentarians still more to come and
yeah,
showbiz that if it's a Harambe, I've given 10 million. So
yeah,
people are stealing to be seen. When the
yeah.
campaigns come, it's people are, and even the Mwananchi, the poor Mwananchi is so stupid that whoever gives them is who they give the vote, whether he's a thief, whether he's a thug, and now it has
You see
gone.
that's why
And
Morara has
that's
embarked on civic education, and he's saying now every politician should be asking for money from people, as in you
let
ask for people to donate towards your.
you, Africans or Kenyans now should see what happens in America. People donate. When
Yeah,
Obama or whatever, people donate. Trump
yeah.
is being donated to.
That's
But
what
we,
that's what is happening now. You've seen like Morara, somebody has already bought a house
yes,
for the new party that he's going to form.
exactly. Kenyans,
People contributed for a car, a
exactly.
presidential address system.
That's
So
what I'm saying is Kenyans need civic education.
yeah,
Wakenya wamedanganywa for years. And now is when Kenyans should wake up. But we still have some stupid ones who feel sick. Oh,
yeah. No,
Mutuwetu,
no, but there's a change.
with those Butuwetu thing.
No,
People
people are waking up.
people should wake up. And Morara, thumbs up.
Yeah,
Keep it up. And we
you
need more
should.
Morara.
And if I do any video of Morara, you need to tell people about it. I think every Kenyan needs to support him.
That guy. And Kenyans, and you see the back then systems, when you talk they take you and kill you. They need to stop. Why are they killing people? Because they don't want the truth. They have stolen. We have now known the truth. I never even
Yeah,
knew the history of Kenya. But
yeah.
when and there are these two guys who are
And
interviewed.
Wanjigi, okay, Wanjigi, I think he has a score to settle with the current regime, but because he knows how the system works, he has
Exactly.
opened our eyes.
Ex- exactly.
So
We
even if he has ulterior motives for
no,
letting us know what has been happening,
let me tell
we
you.
need to utilize the information he has given us.
Very true. Kenyans should wake up.
Yeah.
Kenyans should wake up. Be civil. They should be educated and know the truth. And let people live with what you know and what you think is right. Even these churches, God brought, whoever brought them, I know what they were brought by these people from here, but it was a way to control people on how you
Yeah.
live, your morals. And in life, your morals come up the way you have grown up.
But do you know, I think we really confuse. Church is actually supposed to be a gathering of people who edify Christ. It
Exactly.
shouldn't be institutions
Exactly.
and the main focus of the church is to draw everyone's attention to Christ
to live a good life, a genuine life, a
and
positive
to
life,
think
and to care
about your
about
eternal life.
exactly. Just live a good life, humble. If you want to
Okay, it doesn't mean that you should be poor.
no, no, not that, not poor. What I mean is, even if you get those riches, just work hard, get the riches in the right way.
Honestly.
Honesty. That's what the church is about. But even what happens in the church has become dishonest. So we are the same people. Let nobody cheat you that when it's a bishop, they are the most closer to God.
No, no,
No,
no,
no.
no. I have a different definition of who is holy and who is not. It is the relationship you have with God is what
Exactly.
determines whether you're a
You are
proper
really,
Christian or not.
and even it says, not all who call me God, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Kenyans should just wake up.
Mm.
Yeah. Don't be told that if you don't bring this, you will not be blessed. And then you stupid, you also just fall. You take everything, you sell your shamba, you sell your coke, you sell, and you become nothing. Those people are the
Yeah,
ones.
or like those cult followers, the ones who starved themselves to death
At the end of
to
the day.
get to heaven,
Yeah.
and their church leader is still alive. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've talked for almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
My battery is about to die. So it was nice to have this chat. It was very interesting. This is my first live. So we should do this again.
Yeah.
So when
So,
you're free and you feel like talking, just hit me up. I
okay.
send you the
So,
link.
what I can say, people should just, when you live your life, just remember there's a superpower, and the way you live determines sometimes what your future will be. Because you see, there's no point of, for example, like when I left my first marriage, then I went to the second because I wanted a family. I would have even chosen because I know when I left my first marriage, I would have still gotten, this thing people go and you become a second wife to a rich man. Because I used to meet these guys. Yeah. And I think that is one thing this the father of my daughters used to think, because when I would work in the salon with big, I worked in Lavington, I worked, would meet the who's who. So I think he used to feel, because anytime we'd come home and we'd look at the clock, then I think he used to have in his head, this one must be meeting big people, and because that's what he used to say around,
He was feeling insecure.
very insecure. And now there's one thing: when you're nice and you're beautiful, your men will always be insecure, which is something wrong. But now it is up to you. How are you living your life? Me, my life was church, and I think that's what helped me. I loved my church. I loved singing for the Lord, and
You loved your God or you loved your church?
I loved my singing actually and God, because I knew there's a superpower who is enabling me to do this. And that one made me go out of, these depressions people are getting. Because people wonder, how come you never got depressed through all these things? It is because of the singing. And singing is something very good. It is a
Yeah.
therapy. I think that is what was my therapy. That's it. Otherwise, I think I would have died of depression if I didn't join that choir.
Do you ever think you'll write a book? A more detailed book?
Anyway, time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I can only pray is I thank God for giving me this life, sustaining me, and making me able at least to share my story so that maybe it can motivate somebody. You might pass through things, but at the end of the tunnel, and there's one gentleman who told me, I remember when I used to stay alone with the children, and he would see my children carry their bags, and he would really, even give them lifts. And there's one day he told me, I look at the way you bring up your children, the way you brought up these children, they would qualify, and I would tell him, oh, she's passed with this, she's been taken to this school. And she would tell me, do you know what? In your old age, you're going to enjoy your life. And I'm seeing it coming to
You're
pass.
enjoying your old age.
Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Okay. So, do you have any social handles where people can follow you, or you're not a social media person?
No, I'm
You're
not
not a
a.
social media person. Okay.
Yeah, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe on Instagram, but I don't think I'm not a social media, and I think
Okay.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously I'm going to publish this. I'm very sure somebody is going to want to interview you on their podcast. So if I get any
Mm,
messages, I'll relay them to
I
you.
don't mind. Yeah, I would.
Then
Yeah,
you check out the podcast and see whether
whether I'm ready for it. Yeah,
you're comfortable to talk to them. Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
thank you for the 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Ooh, that was long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Okay.
Everybody who's going to watch this. And God.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and just let me know what you think of what Linda has had to say. Like and share this video. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.